All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Path of Stones. We are playing a campaign tonight hosted by the wonderful Robert Kenzie. Yeah, right there in the doobly-doo. You can see him over there.
Hey, everybody.
Everyone point.
Oh, wait, I pointed the wrong direction. Here we go.
There
it is.
That's funny.
And so the rest of us, where alignment may vary. My name is Morgan. I'm running the Twitch side of things. If you see me look a little distracted, that would be why. John is our normal DM. He is currently going to be a player with us this time, which is very exciting. We want to have him suffer a lot.
Yeah, I have to remember how to play.
Yeah, that too. Oh God. Stalker's down below. He's a regular part of the Bestiary podcast as well. And how do I get to Tyler from
Right here?
Polar opposite of me is Tyler, and he was also part of our multiple year campaign, regular person on the Bestiary. So this is going to be a fun little one shot. Robert, do you want to give us a kind of a quick sum as to where we're at and what we're doing?
All right. Well, are we ready to go ahead and just jump right into it? Does anybody have there's no pre-show announcements or anything like that? We'll just, all right.
Well, I guess we could say our next Bestiary is coming up on the 19th at 4 p.m., I believe is what we decided. Or no, 6 p.m. 6 p.m. 19th, 6 p.m. And that is going to be with the on the Tarrasque or Tarrasque. I always say it wrong. Tarrasque.
Every time.
No, it's
Tarrasque. I had it right this time. Oh, okay. Well, that's par for the course. So it's the Tarrasque, and there'll be more details.
An hour of us teaching John to say it right.
The whole show.
That's correct.
The whole show.
And there will be more information on our wonderful guest Luke Elliott on Facebook, and just keep an eye on that to see what we're planning. All right.
Okay, excellent. And before we get into this, we'll permit me a quick plug. If anybody's interested in what I do or where I am in the world, you can go to www.diredestiny.com, where I've written for games and do films and things like that, and you can go check out my stuff there. So there, end of plug, and we'll go ahead and we'll get right into the Path of Stones. So, if everyone's sitting comfortably, then I'll begin.
All right.
So we have 4 heroes here who have been called together on an unlikely mission. Deltrana, a half-elven cleric, has been approached by Lord Ilar, a member of the Alphaean elite, an elven noble. He has asked you to put together a team of experts on the Fae, because he has a mission for you. There is a forest on his estates on which there is, or has been, a pathway, supposedly that leads through the Fae to the elven colonies across the sea. And apparently there has been some mischief or some issue with it recently. He's asked you to assemble your team and meet him at his estates. There's a small cottage near a path which leads into these woods. Deltrana has gone out and found some teammates to bring together, and we will begin our adventure with Deltrana bringing your companions to this cottage near the path, and the 4 of you are awaiting the arrival of Lord Ilar. So if there's anything you'd like to say to one another ahead of this?
And so we're in like a fortress, or are we outside in the forest right now?
You're in a cottage. You're in a small cottage that's kind of this, it's near the beginning of a path that goes into a wood. You're on a noble, sort of well-manicured estate belonging to an elven noble on the island, which is the elven homeland.
So it's a fortress for chickens. I get it. Okay. Yeah. Which you guys? Who wants to go first?
Who wants to go first?
Well, you're certainly a tall piece of work. Hill giant of some sort. You've got the hill giant look to you. What's the name? I go by Widdle Twiddlefoot. You may have heard of my recitations.
I have not heard of the name of the Whittlefoot. Is that what you've said?
Close enough. Close enough.
And the rest of you will see it if you look at this conversation going on. You'll see my character is a Firbolg who's kind of a descendant of giants. This particular one appears to have maybe more ancestry on the hill giant side. He's quite large and rotund, and sort of looks like he's kind of melting into himself. But for all of that, he has a fairly jolly kind of smile on his face, and but he speaks very calmly and deeply, and he sort of looks at you can tell as he looks at all of you that there's more going on behind those squinty little eyes than might at first appear to be the case, and his name, he tells you all, is Octavian.
Widdle, by contrast, is a halfling in kind of nicer clothes, almost kind of mummery, costume work to it. At his feet, a pseudo-dragon sits that he kind of scratches behind the... Do dragons have ears? Do pseudo-dragons have ears?
They do, Widdle one.
This one has ears and I'm scratching behind it. Not much to say, just an unassuming halfling with a pseudo-dragon.
Fibblestib Fiddlefen. Oh man, why did I do that name? Is definitely out of place. It's a gnome who looks very uncomfortable in a unfamiliar setting around other people. Doesn't make a lot of noise. Just kind of watches the conversation and is lingering a little closer to the halfling because it's a little bit more familiar.
I gotta say, do you know what I'm getting images of? I'm getting images of the Neverending Story. It's like the rock fighter, and then the two little guys is on the ground. That's how my character feels right now. Octavian feels like he's gonna step on everybody.
You might.
Yeah.
You might.
Stub, as I am affectionately called, is definitely keeping well away from your feet.
That is an unfortunate moniker.
And Stub's not saying much, just kind of watching the conversation unfold.
Yeah, Deltrana is sitting here going, oh my god, is this the best I could come up with? Like, she's feeling like I have failed already. This is barely the start, and I have completely failed my order. So her backstory, she's half elven. She came from a family of traders. They were well renowned because of her human father and her elven mother. They just didn't really have a specific place to live, so they just were very nomadic in their behavior. They were attacked one day, and essentially to save her, Deltrana's mother threw her off a bridge, and she nearly died, nearly drowned. Now has a permanent fear of heights, but was rescued by a group of the Order of the Steel Fang, and ended up eventually joining their order. So she's very devout to this order because they did save her life, and they got immediate vengeance on the bandits upstream. So but yeah, so she's feeling like I could have done better, but we were short on time, and oh god, I hope this works.
Do you know us? Like, is that how you called us, or was this call just go out?
I feel
do you know us personally?
She may know Stub, if because Stub's a druid, right? And if you're local, then they may have encountered each other. I mean, she's not like super new to the area now. Deltrana was brought to the temple when she was 10, so she's been there a while. So we probably
Then I just want to say this. Probably Octavian was sort of referred to you by like somebody you trust. But the kind of the back thing with Octavian in this game is Octavian's part of a secret order. Player knowledge here. That he is called the Reclusive Song. And his whole goal is he's been kind of snuck into this team to try and make sure that any magical items or artifacts that are found along this quest, if they're anything beyond like your basic common healing potions or things, that they don't go back to civilization, because that's the goal of his order, is to keep magic sort of curated from the world, because it's too dangerous. It can make the world too dangerous. So that's kind of secretly that's his plan. But right now he's sort of just playing like he came highly referenced.
Okay.
Widdle would have joined, having heard the inclusion of some aspect of the Fae. His patron, the Great Librarian, desperately wants to open more pathways between the mortal world and the Fae, pretty much to trade books, to get more normal books and get more Fae books into the hands of mortals. And that's
All
why I heard Stub talking about it, and I was like, we're in.
Well, about this time, Lord Ilar comes up to the cottage, and he steps into the sitting room where you're all gathered, stops, takes one look around, raises an eyebrow at Deltrana, and says, "This is the team."
Given the short notice, yes, this is the team.
I apologize for the lack of time to prepare. The references are good?
Yes, they come very highly rated.
Oh,
Very
you
well.
might
Except for
not
that
know
one.
some of mine.
Okay, yes, except for the other little one.
If you speak to the gnome Yelp, you'll find that I have 5 stars with him.
Very well.
Oh, you know Yelp.
Yes.
As time
well
is
acquainted.
of the essence, I will try to be brief as possible. For time out of mind, there has been a special pathway by which we have been able to remain in touch with the colonies and the storm reaches across the sea. On my estates, in these very woods, there is a pathway that leads through the Feywild, and one may travel it from here and come out near one of the fortresses there. Unfortunately, something seems to have happened to it. We were expecting visitors to come by this path. It is only open at certain times of the year normally, or could be opened by certain magical incantations otherwise. This group, though, they never made it to us. We sent a party to investigate, and unfortunately they did not return. We actually have been out of touch with the Storm Reaches for some time. I've heard rumors of terrible things happening there, actually going back to last year. Indeed, as the new year turned from 1830 from 1730 over to 1731, we had heard disturbing reports, and we were hoping to get some more intelligence from them, frankly. But unfortunately, the path seems to have stopped working or been blocked, or some mischief seems to have befallen it. You are all familiar with the creatures and mores and ways of beings of the Fae, or have some knowledge or some experience of them?
I have some passing experience.
Excellent. And he looks like Octavian, and certainly it's good to have a strong hand in case it is necessary. So he kind of like looks at Stub and is like, and you appear to have an affinity for the natural world as well, I see.
I know the forest. I know animals.
Well, that will hopefully come in useful. Deltrana, I will trust your judgment in these things. Very well. Now, there is not much time to lose. He goes to a cabinet and opens it up, and he pulls out two small vials, and he entrusts them to Deltrana, and he says, "Here are 2 common healing potions. I don't know how dangerous this mission is going to be. It could be nothing, but the Fae is strange, so I fear there could be trouble."
Now, and Octavian always likes to have a really clear sense of kind of what his mission is. So he says, you wish us to reopen this path, make sure that the path is clear between the Stormwatch and on this safe path of ours?
Yes, indeed. I'd make sure that, first of all, find out if the path is indeed open, and if it is not, to attempt to ascertain why and possibly get it open. Here, come with me. And he leads you all outside, and what looks like a pleasant garden path heading into the forest. And he says, "It looks innocuous enough, but do be wary. You will come to a set of standing stones. That is how you will know you're on the path."
Octavian will ask, do we know much of the one who opened this path initially?
That was many years ago, even for an elf, my friend. But it has been here as long as I have. You'll pass through a stone arch, and then come to the standing stones. Beyond that, well, we shall see. But if you reach the stones, you will know you're on the right path.
Did you ever cross this path in the past?
I have, yes. It was pleasant enough. We had an agreement, I believe. There is a caretaker of this path. I have not met her in person, but I have heard rumor of her.
Her name?
I do not know her name. She is a person of some regal demeanor, or some kind of royalty in the Fae courts, I believe.
What is her appearance?
Again, I have not seen her, only heard her spoken of.
Only heard of her. I apologize. Sometimes the common tongue is one of the later ones I learned. Sometimes the nuances of it are lost to me.
I see. Very well. Well, I shall leave it to your work, and I wish you success. He clasps hands with Deltrana and says, "Good luck."
Thank you. It is much appreciated.
And a good day to you, Master. Maybe on our return I can recite our adventures for your pleasure.
Perhaps. He does not look too enthusiastic.
Octavian just stands by, kind of looking to what is it, Deltarune? I keep wanting to call you Deltarune. Deltrana is just kind of looking at Deltrana like this is her show, this is her party. He's just he just kind of crosses his arms. He's got a big old greatsword on his back and a longbow strapped kind of close to that, and he's just sort of sitting there flexing. He's doing some practice reaches. To see ready, always good to limber up before a
Make sure
mission.
your weapons aren't tangled up. That's always a
bad
thing.
Yeah, exactly. He goes great sword, and he reaches for the bow at one point accidentally, and he's like, "Oh no, okay, wait, great sword." Reaches for the great sword.
So what I'm going to do right now is over on Roll20, I'm going to move you guys out of the lobby.
Ooh.
Beautiful.
And put you on. And I'll just go ahead, and I'm just going to go ahead and just grab Octavian's. I'll grab Deltrana. I'll put Deltrana on the map here.
Very
indicating
nice.
that this is the start. So as we've got some fog of war going on the map here.
Cool.
So
Wait, hang on, I gotta zoom out. Where are we at?
We're on the bottom left.
Bottom left.
Okay, found us.
Yeah, there you go.
Find yourself, Deltarune.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
this particular map is just a conceptual map. So this is just sort of let you know where you've been and what you've seen.
Okay.
So as you begin walking down this garden path into what at first appeared to be a very convivial, like almost manicured orchard-like forest, As you pass down it, relatively quickly, the trees begin to come closer together. The underbrush begins to grow wilder. The sounds of the forest, the birds and the insects and the frogs begin to become louder in your ears. And as the branches arch overhead of the path, forming a canopy above, the light begins to dim somewhat. As you move forward, you come, after not too much time, to a crude stone arch made of sarsen stones, which stretches over the path. Ivy has grown up around them and many weeds. But the path is clear, passing through the arch.
Octavian will look at the stones and say, Are these the standing stones that your master spoke of, Deltrana?
No, I believe this is the arch that is before them.
Ah. Well,
Are there any runes on the stones?
These stones are very old. They have a very natural, rough-hewn look to them, and are unmarked and unmarred. But their surface is extremely weathered. They've been here a long time.
Octavian is interested in this sort of stuff for his order. He's always reporting back on like new artifacts found, and he's not yet explored this area. So he wants to go over to them and just kind of see if he recognizes any of this language and I will say Octavian speaks a lot of languages. He speaks like 10 languages.
Yeah, there are no runes, there are no carvings on them.
Oh, sorry. Okay, he wants to then just run a hand kind of over this stone and sort of just feel it, try to guess it, like maybe its age, its make, who, if it speaks of anything from the Feywild or anything like that. Maybe investigation check. I don't know. What do you think, Robert?
You can make me an investigation or an insight check.
Oh, I'll do. I love insight checks. They're just so fun. And I actually will roll insight. Let's see what I got for insight. I've got. No, hopefully that popped up correctly.
Okay.
26 for insight.
Was that rolling with advantage?
That should no. That just should be normal, unless it.
Because it's like you're showing it a roll.
Yeah. There's a
weird.
setting on the character sheet.
Yeah, on the character sheet at the top, it shows disadvantage, normal, and advantage.
Let's see. It's my first time using these character sheets.
Sure.
I would say. Well, I don't see that.
We'll go ahead because this is normally either an advantage or a disadvantage. We'll just take the first roll, which is the 8.
Perfect. Okay, so 15.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
No, it's 8 total.
8 total. Oh, that's a 1
Yes.
plus the. Okay,
Yeah,
got
you
it.
critically failed your insight.
Critically fail. Never mind. Okay, wow. Critical fail.
This went well.
There's
All
some
right.
catharsis I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
When I'm on,
That's
your
cool.
party is not the time you want me to critically fail.
So you examine
Alright.
the stones. You run your hands over them. You are as tall as you are. You will not have to duck going underneath this archway.
That is a huge arch.
But the rocks, the stone is impenetrable to you. You cannot read anything off of it. It is a blank mystery to you.
And I want to say, just because I critically failed, Octavian he thinks it's so normal. He just walks right under the arc. He just keeps walking.
While
Alright.
he was doing that, I was going to be doing a slow kind of circuit around it to see, because I've traveled Fey and back to see if it's familiar to me, if its design is familiar to other entrances to the Fey that I've seen.
The Fey is every entrance you've seen has always been different in some way, but certainly this looks old stone, strange place.
It fits.
It checks it. Yeah, checks out.
All right. Do I
Stub
see anything when he crosses through? Do I see any change or anything like that as I'm walking around?
You see Octavian explode.
Make me a perception or insight check.
I will take the
Oh god, I have
Perception.
to relearn how to roll on this.
18.
18. He looks the same. But you have a strange feeling
Okay.
tickling at the back of your brain. This is definitely a threshold of some kind, and passing through it
All right.
is a moment of portent.
So I watch him for a few feet more, see what happens before I step through.
Okay.
But I would probably follow him through.
Yep, he appears to be fine.
Excellent.
I like this appears to be.
Yeah, I mean,
Stub walks through. He's just kind of happy that he's in the forest again.
Mhm.
So he's kind of just absorbing being in a forest and not really paying attention to the stones. He's like, it's just stones. Whatever.
When
Right.
when he comes through, I kind of nudge him. I'm like, this is a bit more your speed than that musty cottage, eh?
He looks at you with this like just absolute exactly. That's exactly how he's feeling. He's like, yes. Boom.
Stub, make me a perception check, please.
Perception check. 9.
9. Okay.
how do we use it? To...
Just click on it in the character sheet.
Okay,
yeah.
that's easy. Nice.
It's so easy.
Again,
And
you can.
there's
There's
a
a toggle at the top, so you can select.
I had to set
disadvantage
the
and-
settings. If you don't see it, you can go to the little settings bar, and then you can say roll queries advantage toggle.
Yeah.
That's how you get it.
Okay.
There you go.
Perfect.
So Stub, you are kind of looking around, and this feels right to you. This definitely feels right. This is as you cross through the archway, it almost feels like the energy of the natural world around you increases, kicks up a notch. There's a little bit of zhuzh to it, and you kind of like you're feeling good. You're feeling very good about this.
Oh, good. I'm now getting my fix.
Nature fix. Go hug a tree.
Stub actually is probably like touching trees and like talking to the plants and looking for animals to wave at.
To wave at. I love it.
If you are looking around for animals specifically, you will notice that just up the path from you, there's a fox sitting in the middle of the path, just sitting there looking at you.
All right. I am very tempted to cast Speak with Animals, but I'm going to hold off.
Okay. Deltrana, does Deltrana pass through the arch as well?
Yeah, she's kind of hurting the party at this point.
All right. So you walk forward on the path. As you approach the fox, it kind of sort of picks itself up, almost a little fussily, and just turns around and begins walking ahead of you.
It looks like...
Now, does Octavian see this as well?
I
Yes.
assume we all see it, right? Because it's a fox.
Yes.
in the
Technically,
path,
you're in the
just
front, so you would see it before all of us.
Well, I don't know. He's very small, and Octavian's very big.
Stub might actually just start walking in front naturally because he's in the forest.
I actually will cast Speak with Animals because as a ranger using the primal awareness, I can cast that without expending a spell slot
Nice.
once a day or once a short rest.
Ooh.
So yeah, I'm going to use this is part of my primal awareness. So Octavian, once he finally catches sight of this fox, Octavian remembers to look down, and he sees the fox, and he kind of gets down on one knee and says, "Hold there," in the beast tongue. I don't know if to the rest of you it sounds like, but he says, "Hold there, friend fox."
Is that what the fox says?
God.
Ooh.
The fox turns. The fox turns and sits
So
down
bad.
and looks at you.
And Octavian says, He says, "Am I correct in assuming that you know these parts of the woods?"
Does he know the
The
way?
fox says, "You are very large, and you look very strong."
Octavian kind of tilts his head and says, "Well, I've had worse compliments from uglier creatures," and then he kind of slaps his belly and gives a big hearty laugh.
The fox kind of like looks around and sniffs the air and says, "It'd be good to be near you."
Octavian is kind of, he's sort of surprised. He feels like this fox is kind of coming onto him a little bit. And he says, "Is there danger that would require my presence?"
Fox looks around, sniffs again, sort of like moves forward till it's almost like, nose to nose with Octavian, and says, "Always in the woods there is danger."
Does this danger have a source? Can you lead us to it?
The fox kind of cocks its head, turns around, looks over its shoulder, and begins walking forward.
And Octavian rises to his feet and turns to the rest and says, "Well, in addition to recognizing my incredible strength and saying that you are all safe while you are with me," and then he chuckles again, kind of slaps his belly, and says, "The fox is also going to show us the source of danger in these woods. I suggest we follow."
Oh, sure. Walk right into the jaws of the trap. That sounds good. Lead on. And I immediately start hiding behind him as he walks.
Stub walks up to Octavian and pats him on the leg approvingly, like, "Good. Talking with animals is good."
What's our marching order here? Just so I know. So Octavian is in front?
Yeah, and Octavian is going to make real quick one more insight check. Just again an 8. Jeez, that Octavian has critically failed twice on his insight, which is amazing because there's a +7 to it. So Octavian is once again, he just loves this fox. He was so charmed by his compliments that he's not even going to question this. So never mind. I think marching order then is Octavian's going to storm ahead in front. He wants to live up to this compliment of being strong and a protector of these woods. It took him by surprise.
We'll put Octavian in front, and Stub comes next.
Stub will be up there, yeah.
Okay.
I'll probably be right there too because I'm using
Octavian to hide.
Yeah.
Hang on, we got two of you there.
Deltrana's following the pack, apparently. I mean, not
All
like
right.
she's not trailing super far behind or anything, but she's just kind of like, this is not how I saw
Leading
this
from
going.
the rear.
Pretty much. Just gonna hurt them if they get off track.
Yep. All right. So you walk for over an hour and a half. As you're walking, the day has sort of like worn on it, and the woods become just a little bit darker and a little bit more foreboding. The fox, you notice, becomes a little bit more hesitant in its steps and is slowing down a little bit and looking around. I'm going to go ahead and make a roll for the fox.
We haven't passed any like branching paths or anything, have we, on our way here?
No, the path is unbroken,
Okay.
and it is just a straightforward path. The fox stops and then slinks over to Octavian and positions itself between his feet.
And by now, Octavian speak with animals is worn off, but I do have Octavian does have a speech of beast. Yeah, Firbolg thing. So basically, he can still say things to the fox, and the fox can understand him, but he can't understand.
But he can't understand the fox, right?
Right. So the fox is cowering between his feet, and he says, "Have we arrived at the source, friend fox?"
The fox just looks up the path a bit.
And Octavian's going to try to make like maybe a perception check just to see if he can spot exactly where he's like looking, to see if he's just saying go further, or
Sure.
if he sees like He's at a shrub. That is another 8. Is this the only? Is this the only? Does my roll 20 only roll ones? Hold on. Who rigged my roll 20?
The path ahead.
My stealth is 22.
Right.
It's like sweet revenge for all the times you've screwed us.
But he's on our
So
team, guys. We
Octavian-
can't have him fail.
Oh, he's screwing us still.
Octavian looks forward and sees that the path ahead sees nothing. Nothing
Absolutely not. I'm blind.
I kind of
It looks a little bit dim and a little bit foreboding, but it is clear.
Does anyone else want to do perception? I mean, my perception's okay, but I could do maybe an arcana if there's.
I'll do perception check because I have speak with small animals. So if the fox looked down the path, I probably perceive that as communicating danger. So yeah, I have 23.
Yeah. All right. So you look down the path and you can see that off to the side of the path, there is something large lurking under the trees. It appears to be. It appears to be.
Not Octavian.
No, it's not Octavian. No, but there is definitely something there. It's blending in with the trees quite well, but there's definitely something there. It's large and it is among the trees. You can't quite make out what it is. You'll have to move forward. But I think if you move forward like another 10 or 15 feet, you'll be able to see what it is.
Can we say that Octavian has moved forward to that just because of this critical fail I found on my perception?
All right, yeah. So Octavian. So are you actually moving forward stealthily?
Actually, yeah, I think he would. Yeah, he
So
knows
Octavian
danger.
just looks. So Octavian looks down the path, doesn't see anything, but kind of like shrugs a little bit, and then moves into the off the path, under the shade of the trees, and surprisingly, for a person of his size, has a surprisingly light step and quickly. I mean, maybe it's because he looks like a big moss-covered rock half the time, but he, or just like a really big tree stump. But he kind of blends in with the forest as he moves along, and you quickly lose sight of him. But your attention is focused on this thing that's off the path. Unfortunately, Octavian has gone off the other side of the path.
Wait. So I look over, I see this looming shadow that I'm like, what is that? And I turn back and Octavian's gone and I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
This is so good. Stub is just like.
So I see Stub and Octavian kind of interact with this fox, and then Octavian just blink out of existence. And Stub getting all nervous, so I move back to Deltrana and I say, I think there's danger coming, and then I kind of step behind her and hide behind her.
All right.
Let's go ahead and make a stealth check on that one. Maybe not super well. And then my pseudo dragon kind of paces in front of her.
Okay.
Its name is Pete.
Pete the dragon.
Is anyone else moving forward on the path?
Stub will slowly move forward.
All right. So you're moving towards the shadow?
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah. Not directly. I don't think Stub's suicidal, but definitely kind of in that direction, but a little bit angling away. So it's closer, but still not getting too close. If that makes sense.
All right. So. The good news is that Stub is not surprised when the DM calls for initiative. So before we roll, let me go ahead and move you guys over to a different map.
Ooh.
So I've got a couple of maps here that I'm going to be using. I'll go ahead and place you on the path according to your
Marching order.
Your marching order. So right now, Stub is about here. Deltrana is we'll say Deltrana is about here.
Okay.
With Mr. Twiddlefoot behind her. Oh, you know what? We really should have the pseudo dragon on here. So, whoops! Come on. Do we have no results found for pseudo dragon?
A lizard of some sort.
Small lizard, snake.
Oh, that'll work.
Yeah, let me see if I've got monsters. Not an adult black dragon. Not a dragon. Fairy dragon. Here we go. No. All right. Boom. We have a fairy dragon on the field. Okay. Where'd the fairy dragon go?
It's right next to me.
It sees it.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So, and the fairy dragon is pacing right there. And then we've got Octavian, who has moved off the path and is all the way over here.
Beautiful.
Dude,
In fact, let's go ahead and put him. Let's put him over here.
I'm about to start attacking this rock that looks like a person.
All right. So basically, we're here. The path that you're on is open. Everything else is covered in greenery and trees. Even though the trees are sporadic on this map, we're treating everything off the path as difficult ground. Lots of trees. Okay, and the canopy covers all of it.
And you want initiative rolls.
And now, so when you roll for initiative, what you should do is you should select your token, and then roll for initiative. And actually, I don't know that your tokens. Yeah, some of your tokens. Yeah, your tokens, I believe, are connected to your character sheet. So,
Perfect.
except for, it looks like Deltrana's is not.
Yeah.
But I'll go ahead and I'll fix that. Boom. So now you're connected. Oh, and also let me get the initiative tracker out. That would help. All right, Widdle's on there already. Okay, cool. So everybody go ahead and roll your initiative.
Got another one.
Wait, how do I roll initiative on this?
Okay, hang on a second.
Sorry.
Just click initiative.
Yeah, hang on just a second here. Let me where did you
I don't see initiative anywhere.
You don't see it. Okay, hang on. Hold up just a second.
I have like the
will-
red bubbles or the bubbles for like health points and stuff, but
Yeah.
Oh no, you click it on your character sheet.
Hang on. Let me
Oh,
fix
there we
it for
go.
you. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Okay.
yay! Okay. Oh god, Octavian is just not paying attention.
Cool.
No, I rolled another
What's a
one.
seven-
I
what's a
literally
7
rolled.
point- What's a 7.14, Widdle? How?
All right. Stub,
It
we
does
need your
that
initiative.
to break ties. That's
Oh.
I
the whole
rolled a
point.
22, but it didn't go to the token, so trying
All
to
right,
figure
then
this out.
I'll go ahead and put you
Oh,
in
I see
manually.
it. Yeah, it's on the chat bar. That's interesting.
Yeah, you have to select your token.
I forgot to do that before I did it. Yeah,
Okay, whoops.
22. Okay, there you go. Boom.
Oh,
I am
that's
not surprised.
fancy things.
22. Boom. Okay, and now I will roll initiative for the thing, which I will now reveal.
Dramatic
Let's
pause.
see. Yeah, dramatic pause while I go to the GM overlay.
It's an adult black
Yeah.
dragon. Ooh.
Boom.
Is that
It is a giant spider of some kind.
Yes! Sorry, for those who don't know, John is absolutely terrified of spiders, so I maybe
But
enjoying this. one, but-
Octavian's not. Octavian's attacking a wall over here.
Oh,
He doesn't
okay.
even know it's there.
You're just sitting there going like, "Wow, this wall's really thick."
All right.
Ooh,
I
19
know
points.
this golem will die eventually.
1960. All right. Yeah, the spiders are
Going second.
doing well here.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll throw them into the initiative. And they are 1916. Well, come on. All right. 19.16. There we go. And we will organize descending. So, top of the initiative is Stub. So, Stub, you see this enormous spider lurking under the trees, and just as you approach it, it moves toward you in an aggressive manner. It is getting ready to attack you.
I am just going to assume that I can't talk with it. So I'm going to cast...
You can certainly try.
It's a beast, but I do not think it's too aggressive. I'm going to go ahead and cast Shillelagh. Shillelagh?
Shillelagh.
Delay.
Shillelagh. There you go. Shillelagh on my staff, my quarterstaff.
All right.
And
That's your action.
that's a bonus action.
Oh, cool.
Yay.
And then I'm going to go up and smack it.
All right. Go for it.
All right. So I will...
Go ahead and move your token up. Or should you want me to do that for you?
Sure.
All right. Boom.
And I did 10 magical damage.
Okay. Do you have to roll to hit with that or not?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. My bad.
It's been a while.
Brain is a little bit slow today, so give me
In my
just a
game, we
second.
just don't roll to attack. We just do damage.
Just do damage.
I mean, by the end of the game, John, we were so powerful. That's kind of all we did.
That's true. That is true.
14 to hit.
A 14 does hit.
Okay, so I 10 damage. Yeah, I knew
10
what
damage.
was going to happen.
All right. That bludgeoning damage then?
It is magical damage, but it's bludgeoning. I don't know if...
Okay. Got it.
That
I just picture
matters.
Stub calling it out as he rushes at 10 damage. And then
All right.
This is going to hurt.
So the spider goes next. The spider, what it's going to do is it's immediately going to try and web you up. Let's see. So does a 12 hit you?
No. I have
Alright.
a 13 AC.
All right. So you dodged out of the way. Let's see. Anything else that it can do? No. All right. So it's going to do that, and then it will basically sort of like move around you and put you between it and everybody else. Now, Octavian, while
Yes.
you're you see what happens from like you hear the commotion, you hear Stub shout and cast his spell. You turn around, you see this enormous spider in the tree line trying to throw webbing all over your friend, who is now dodging and juking out of the way. So you are a bit distracted when, let's see, when this other spider over here suddenly appears and charges at you.
I love it.
And actually, you know what? It's going to... what's it going to do? It's going to go ahead and it's going to try and web you up from where it is over there.
Okay.
It will also
Beautiful.
attempt to web you up. That's a 23 to hit you.
Oh, yeah. That definitely... Well, let's see. Do I have to... Oh, as an action, I can make that.
All right.
Okay,
so
yeah.
you are
I am definitely
restrained.
hit. Yes. Yeah.
So you are restrained, and I'll go ahead and put a little marker on you.
Oh, I threw one up there.
Oh, cool. Awesome. All right. So you are no longer stealth, but you are restrained. As this
Beautiful.
other
I feel
spider,
that's a bad
and
trade.
so that's its action, and then it's going to move in on you.
Well, and Octavian, as he sees this happen, he just says, "Well, I don't need speak with beast to know what this thing's intentions are."
Okay. At that point, the fox takes off down the path. Seeing that, like, it sees like one spider attack you and one spider attack Octavian, and then it just kind of like nods and then zips down the path ahead of you guys.
Cool.
We'll meet it here.
Okay. Deltrana, you are up.
Excellent. So I'm going to scooch. Oh, wait, are these 5-foot blocks or 10-foot blocks? How are we
Yes,
doing this?
they're 5 foot.
Okay. I'm going to scooch this way a little bit to have better range on this spider here. And then I'm going to hit it with a Sacred Flame.
Okay, cool. There's a little ruler tool up there as well if you ever need to measure range. But yeah, Sacred Flame. Does that is that a roll to hit, or is that a dexterity save from
it is
the
a
spider?
dex,
I believe, right?
It is a dex saving throw.
All right. Spider will make a dex saving throw. 16.
I believe mine was 14. Curses. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
so the
I
spider
missed.
shifts out of the way. That brings us to Mr. Twiddlefoot.
Yes. Also, I forgot to roll initiative for my pseudo dragon.
We'll have it go
so
on your initiative.
Okay. Okay. So I will start by moving up behind, not quite behind.
Just right next
Del.
Keep in mind,
Just yet.
when you're off the path, you're at half movement because of the difficult terrain.
Okay. I will stay on the path then.
Okay.
And I will raise my hands and fire Eldritch Blast at this guy.
Okay. Oh, that hits.
All right. So first blast does 11 damage.
Okay.
No, that can't be right.
No, that's another roll to hit.
That's another roll to hit.
I believe there's a toggle in if you can set up the Eldritch Blast to roll the damage as well as the to hit at the same time. But if you don't want to take care of that now, just go ahead and roll the damage on the dice roller, which is on the under the D20 over there off to the left on the toolbar.
There we go. 10 damage.
And damage it is.
I have Agonizing Blast, so I get to add my charisma to it.
Nice. The spider is looking well rocked.
Then I'm gonna use my second on it. Does a 16 hit?
A 16 does hit. $13 damage.
13 damage.
Your second blast strikes it, and it lets out this horrible hissing that almost rises to a shriek as it stumbles back and shrivels up, and the legs curl up into a smoking husk.
I kind of laugh a bit, and I look and I say, "See, Pete, I didn't even need you to bite the thing."
Stub is sad.
Oh, is Pete going to do anything, or is he going to?
Are we aware of this guy?
You're aware that something is going on over there. You don't have. If you move a little bit closer, you'll have line of sight on it.
Yeah, no, me and Pete are going to stay where we are for now.
Okay, sounds good. All right, then Octavian, it is you. The only action you have available, because you are restrained, is to try and break the restraint.
Now let's see. Can I? Is it the only action, or can I do like attacks with disadvantage?
When you're restrained, let me double check restrained. Always good to have the conditions handy. Let's see. Grappled, invisible, paralyzed, petrified, poison, prone, restrained. Your speed becomes 0. You have disadvantage on dex saving throws. You can make an attack with disadvantage, yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I think what Octavian's going to do is he's going to try to break the rather than use his action to break free, he's going to try to cut it. He wants to, he was kind of like reaching up to his great sword when he was webbed, and now he kind of says under his breath, "Great sword," and he draws the great sword, trying to, as he draw it, sort of like make that his attack, like cut because he gets 2 attacks when he makes an attack action.
Sure.
So he's going to try to use his first to cut free the webbing, and if that works, he's going to use his second to try to come down on the spider. So but of course I'm going to roll a 1. So let's see.
Let's see.
Let's get that out of the way. Here we go. Where is it? There's my great sword.
What did it roll? Good.
Okay, good. A hit. So that's for the that is specifically on the webbing. So let's see what I get for that. That
was another roll to hit.
Oh, okay. My apologies. Well, I guess I'll use that for my second attack. Well, if it was, I don't know. What was it?
It was a 20.
Let's see.
So that will hit the spider if you can do enough damage to get out of the web.
I tried to click this damage. I'm just going to roll it up here.
Yeah.
2d6, and it's +3.
Okay.
So there's my
8 plus 3.
2d6.
That is enough. You break the webbing with the first strike. You hit the spider with the second strike. Go ahead and roll damage for the second strike.
Another 2d6 +3
So total
is
10.
7. Okay.
There's the one.
There's the one. I'll take it there.
So, but total of 10 damage. So yes, you smack into it. Stub, you're up next.
Stub is very short and stubby. So is Stub more than 25 feet away from the big spider?
You are exactly 25 feet away from the spider.
But I'm not sure if difficult terrain would be an issue.
Well, you're kind of half on the path right now, and you could get to 5, 10, 15, 20. You can get to here. You can get to right here with 20 feet of movement.
Okay, then I'll do that.
Okay.
And then I'm going to attack the spider with my magical staff again.
Okay. You are flanking, so you get advantage on this attack. So 25 hits, absolutely.
Yep. And then I think that's the damage with 8.
No, the 8, again,
No.
You're rolling with advantage. That's an advantage roll.
Oh, okay, so that's doing... Okay.
Yep.
And then...
Again, that's a roll to hit,
Nope.
so you've got to...
Yeah,
I was hoping I pushed the wrong part. Okay, let me just...
yeah, I tried that too, Stalker. It didn't work for some reason. I don't know.
I figured it out, guys. I figured it out.
Did you?
8 damage.
Yeah, it's in
8
the
damage.
settings thing again. It's just a couple below the roll queries.
Okay, I'll mess
Okay.
with that.
All right, it is the spider's turn. The spider is not happy. So we're going to go ahead and roll I'm going to roll a d6. Odds, it's going to strike Octavian. Evens, it will go for Stub.
Perfect.
Evens, it's going to go for Stub. And it's that there. Let's see. And so it is going to try and bite Stub. That's a 19.
Definitely hits.
So it's going to do 9 piercing damage and 4 poison. I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw. You may take half damage, half the poison damage.
Just 10.
10 is a failure, so you will take 4 points of poison damage. And
So I'm thinking 4 and then 9.
yeah, so
So
total of 13.
Ow.
Okay. And then the spider is kind of stuck because if it moves away from Octavian, he's going to smack it. So, yeah, the spider's going to continue to struggle. Deltrana, you're up.
Okay. She's gonna scooch closer to the path here and then try the flame spell again.
Sacred Flame again. Spider goes to make a dexterity saving
Yep.
throw.
Oh wow.
23.
I'm having
Just barely makes it.
Extreme success. Okay, never mind.
All right,
Super helpful this time.
Mr. Twiddlefoot.
So I move up to here,
Okay.
and I'm going to go ahead and Eldritch Blast this spider as well.
All right. Roll to hit.
Hit.
There we go. Hit for 14 points of damage. And again, the searing blast of eldritch energy slams into it. And again, this horrible, the hissing screech comes out of it. It almost sounds like air escaping the carapace, through a very small opening as it falls back smoking and curling up into a dried husk of an insect. And the way before you was clear.
And Octavian's looking around. He doesn't see. We don't see any more spiders anywhere.
No, but Octavian, as you're looking around, sort of like scanning things, you do realize that the force has gone eerily silent.
It's usually a good sign.
And we haven't seen those standing stones yet, right?
Mm-mm.
Not yet.
Okay. Let's see. Octavian says, kind of half to himself, well, this seems the kind of situation a ranger should be come in handy.
Where did that fox get off to?
Yeah, that's a good question. Where did that fox get off to?
It ran further down the pathway.
He wants to use. I think I want to use beast sense, which will tell me. Oh no, wait. That's I have to touch a willing beast, so he's not there. Yeah, Octavian sort of. He keeps his great sword out, and he wants to actually check over the party and see if everybody's doing okay. Is anybody? He's going to kind of just go over. Is anybody looking really hurt? Like Stub, for instance.
Stub definitely looks like he took about pretty solid hit. Looking a little shaken, but not terrible.
Widdle's looking fine. You could say Widdle looks as fit as a fiddle.
You could say that.
Except mine. So that's wrong because I'm the Fiddlefen.
Well, and Octavian will chuckle and say, "Well, you can discuss music all you wish." He says, "But I let me see if I can take care of that for you." And I actually want to cast Cure Wounds on just use one of my level 1 spell slots and cast Cure Wounds on Stubbs here.
Okay.
And you find the Firbolg is like exceedingly gentle, Stubbs. I mean, he's like this giant mountain of a creature, just kind of comes over and he's he's examining your wounds with this sort of care like a mother would give her child. He seems exceptionally, just concerned for you. And it's 1d8 plus my mod, which I think that's a 3 plus my mod is 7, so 10 hit points back.
All right, there you go.
I am feeling much better. Thank you.
Okay.
And Octavian sort of stands up afterwards, kind of ponderously, and says, "If you can move on, then Stubbs, just be never rush in to save me again. I would hate to be to have to carry your the guilt of your loss on my shoulders."
Stubbs just chuckles and pats you on the shin.
So, moving on?
Yes, I think so, unless anybody else has anything, right?
I'm good.
I'm good.
All right.
Yeah, let's go.
Then I will take you back over to this other map here. And I'm going to reveal some more of this map. As you proceed forward, you see ahead of you a change in the light. And this is the part where Rob does a reveal of more of the map.
And Octavian, Deltrana, are you going to try to take the lead, or is Octavian staying up front?
I mean, that's up to you. She can.
Well, you would kind of find Octavian, like, he's so used to going solo and, like, being his own, kind of leader. He's used to being the DM. So he's struggling to not lead. But he will, if he saw Deltrana, like, step out in front of him, he would acquiesce.
I mean, at this point, she feels that you're the ranger. You should lead. It makes sense.
Okay.
But if there's anything like, I mean, now that we're at the stones, or we see the stones, she may take the lead here because, she is a cleric and has some arcana and stuff. So some religion, okay. She may want to.
So Octavian will lead unless Deltrana pushes in front of her.
Oh, I promised myself I was going to do this too, just because. So this image that you're looking at right now, I created this myself. You can tell with the crappy drawings.
Actually, I was going to ask. I really like it.
The forest, like for the battle maps that I'm using, are all sourced from the internet. I just want to give credit where it's due. That forest path map, that's from 2 Minute Tabletop by Ross McConnell. It's at 2minutetabletop.com. So, just
those guys do really good work. They really do.
Yeah, that looked really great.
As you move down the path ahead of you, you do see a clearing ahead, and as you look forward, you can see what look like a number of large standing stones in the middle of this clearing, surrounded by, a little grassy area. The path seems to encompass it. The trees ring around it at a slight distance. The light here is evening light, which you left. You're not quite sure when you left, but it's definitely the light has changed.
Does it feel like it's changed faster than it should have?
Possibly. Difficult to say, but yes, it seems to already be evening here.
Is there a bit of a glow of the moon, or is it mostly starlight?
It is the light of sunset, and just the very first stars beginning to peek out.
So twilight, dusk sort of period.
Yes.
Okay. I would definitely want to go investigate the standing stones.
I feel like we all do.
Yeah.
Except for maybe Stub.
Okay.
Has no interest.
Yeah, not me. I'm more keeping an eye on the forest and kind of exploring and seeing if I find any small friends to befriend, small animals.
As you approach...
Oh, just a quick question. So
sure.
And Octavian knows this is supposed to be the entrance, right, to the path.
He said that when you see the stones, you'll know that you're on the path.
Okay.
As you approach the stones, you can see that at the moment, in the middle of them, there's a couple of stags that are munching on the grass. But as you approach, they look up quickly and they leap out of the circle and into the forest.
Okay.
Octavian's tempted to run after them, but he stays himself.
Be terrifying for the poor things.
I am still pretty much solely interested in the stones. I kind of want to check out any markings, anything.
You walk up to the stones and you see that they are indeed marked. These are large stones. Each of them is about 10 feet tall and maybe 3 to 4 feet wide and another 2 to 3 feet thick. Large, smooth, very roughly worked, but each one of them facing the inside of the circle appears to have some kind of rune or symbol carved into it. All of them different from the others.
This is where Octavian's he's got an ability, a language of ancient runes. I don't know if any of this, if that activates this. Maybe I'll make a investigation check just to see if he recognizes any of these.
I also have Eyes of the Rune Keeper as one of my invocations, so I can read all writing.
Okay.
So can I read any of these runes or carvings?
Let's see what Octavian rolls first.
Okay.
Investigation. 3.
Yep, that's another 1, I think. Or no, that's a 2. I got a 2 this time. Woo! Or wait, no, it is a 1.
You spend some time looking at these runes, trying to suss them out, and you quickly become confused by them. And you seem to have a hard time focusing on what you're doing here, as you're just kind of looking. Well, but what about that one? But what about that one? And God, I'm sorry. Is it? No, you're Stub. You're Mr.
Widdle.
Twiddlefoot.
I'm Widdle.
Widdle. Okay, so Widdle
is the Whittlest warlock.
Right. So Widdle, as you're looking at these symbols, you realize this is not language. This is something older than language. There is meaning here. But it's like it's on the tip of your tongue.
Could I roll an Arcana check to get a sense, or a history check to get a sense of any of the potential Fey-like qualities in what I'm seeing?
You could roll me an Arcana check.
Arcana?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I took Arcana. I didn't.
I
well.
What kind of warlock are you?
The kind that rolled an 18 on an Arcana check.
Nice. You, as you're standing in the middle of these stones now, looking at them, it occurs to you that which stones you walk between may be of significance somehow. Because as you look through the spaces between them, you think you see, like you can definitely see the path you came from, except when you move. And then that path seems to go away and another path appears.
Okay.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay. I relay all that to the party, like, okay, yeah, this is definitely where the path begins. I'm not exactly sure which path they want us to take, but this is definitely where it starts.
So you said that every time we walk between like different stones, there's like it changes the path.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a path that?
And in fact, Twiddlefoot, make me a go ahead and make me a perception or insight check.
Everybody?
Just Twiddle, because he's the one who's working this out.
I'm doing insight.
Insight 12.
I got a 12.
So you start looking at the stones, and at some point, it occurs to you, you know that there's roughly between 8 and 12 stones here, but you're not sure how many.
Octavian wants to use detect magic to see if he can tell, like, what sort of school, if this gives off magic and what sort of school it might belong to.
You cast detect magic, you look around the grove, and as you do, your eyes are not quite dazzled, but definitely opened a little bit as the entire glade takes on this sort of pinkish, purplish glow. You see motes of little golden and purple and blue and green light drifting through the air between the stones. The last rays of the setting sun take on almost the aspect of moonlight streaming down between the stones. You think you hear very, very, very distantly at the very edge of hearing what might be music. This place is suffused with magic of many kinds.
Yeah, Octavian will relay this all to the group, and does he have reason to believe that this is magic? Like this is more than just a gate, or is it like can it be used for other purposes? Does he have any idea?
No, probably not.
Okay. He's really concerned because this is exactly the kind of thing that like his order is said to not want to leave in the world, and he's
however, am very excited because this is exactly the kind of thing I'm looking for.
That's great.
We're gonna end up tearing the party apart, John.
Well, Octavian is thinking like once the mission is done, he's not sure. He's gonna have to see how this goes, but he's wondering if he needs to find a way to shut this gate or try to block this down or at least report it. But for now, he's just checking things out very quietly.
Deltrana, can you make me either an insight or a history check?
I can certainly try. I think my insight's probably going to be the better one. Let's see if this works.
Okay.
Okay, so that would be 14 then? Yep,
14. Like Twiddlefoot, as you're looking at these stones, there's something pricking at the back of your memory. Some old tale, maybe one of your parents told you when you were growing up. Some feeling, some connection that you're supposed to have to this place. Something that calls out to your elven heritage. But it's not, you can't quite connect to it.
Okay.
And it makes you a little sad.
Yeah, that would. You'll see that she suddenly kind of like starts playing with her neck, and there's like a glint of a necklace hidden under her her arm set.
Meanwhile, Stub,
Yes.
you have been looking around, you've been keeping an eye on the forest.
Yes. Definitely
You're
been keeping
realizing
that
that there is a lot of life here, even though it's being very quiet. But you look up, you see a couple of squirrels in the trees that are kind of like leaping with absolute silence from branch to branch, and occasionally they stop and look at you. In the underbrush, you see a handful of rabbits sort of like peeking out of the shrub. They just kind of like peek up and then go back into it and maybe peek up again a little bit. You see one of the stags off to the other side watching you from the tree line. A snake slithers through the long grass near your feet and quickly disappears again from view.
I am, the entire time that this is happening, when I'm looking at them, I'm using Speak with Small Beasts, my racial force gnome ability, to communicate basically, I'm friend. Are you okay? Do you need anything? Do you need help?
Make me a persuasion check.
Persuasion. This is going to be bad.
Oh,
Never
not
mind.
too bad.
18.
18, yeah. You're looking around and you're holding out your hand when you hear a voice say, friend or foe, friend or foe, friend or foe.
Oh.
And you look up, and perched on top of one of the stones is a large purple butterfly.
Is this, it's what communicated to me? Was it in my head or could I hear it?
You heard it.
Okay.
It was very quiet, but you heard it.
I'm going to cast Speak with Animals on it to communicate with it.
Okay.
So I basically communicate, I am a friend. Can you tell me, are you friend or foe as well?
It says, I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. And it flutters down and flutters around your head. And it speaks these words in common.
Oh, so the rest of us can hear it?
So
yes.
Everyone else can understand it, even though I'm communicating with animals. Awesome. Okay, so
Octavian just thinks it's Stubbs muttering to himself. So now is not the time for poetry, Stubbs.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to retcon that. I'm going to say, sorry, quick retcon. I'm going to say that that's only Stubbs going to say. Yeah, it's the spell.
Perfect.
Okay, so yeah, Stubbs does not know poetry or is not articulate like that. So Stubbs kind of just goes, I don't understand. Is everything okay?
The butterfly floats around your head, and it gets right in your face, and you hear it say, it is an ancient mariner, and he stoppeth one of three by thy long grey beard and glittering eye. Now wherefore stopp'st thou me? And perches on your nose.
Everyone, I have a butterfly that speaks words I cannot understand. What's a mariner?
Oh, like a sailor.
It talked about that, and also glinting eyes. I think it's a friend.
They are not language. They are older
Yeah.
than language.
Are there any?
Yeah, go ahead,
there-
Tyler.
Are there any symbols like specific to each stone or set of stones?
You start to look at it. It looks like each stone has a unique symbol on it. And again, you quickly become confused because you start to like, okay, so that symbol's over there, and that symbol's over there, and then that's a new symbol over. Wait a minute, wasn't that another symbol a moment ago?
No.
Okay.
Octavian will walk up to, because Octavian's heard what Stub says, and Octavian similarly has like, beach, beast speech, and shortened as beach apparently.
Yeah.
Beast speech, and he walks up to Stubbs, and he doesn't have his speak with animals cast, but he always can talk to them, and so he'll say, he'll kind of look down, and he's taking what Stubbs says like totally like real fact, really trying to pay attention to it. And he'll look at the butterfly and say, "Friend butterfly, is this? We seek the way through to the Fae. Can you show us this path?"
The butterfly starts fluttering around Octavian's head, and Stubbs, you hear it say, "We are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, but that which we are, one equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will, to seek, to strive, to find, and not to yield."
And Octavian will look at Stubbs.
Stubbs will repeat this completely word for word, but understand almost none of it because it is so much more articulate than what he normally, speaks.
Oh, that's beautiful. I pull out a tablet and start writing it down.
If go ahead and Twiddlefoot can make me a Arcana or History check.
I will make a history check.
It almost sounds like these were once Fae.
Ooh.
Yes, Widdle, you absolutely recognize this verse. This is a bit of an old poem, quite a long poem, and about undertaking a heroic journey, like a final heroic journey.
Okay. Yeah. Wait. I know this. Get the butterfly to keep talking. Maybe I know more of it.
So Stubbs goes, "Speak more, butterfly friend." And every time that the butterfly speaks, he'll repeat it to the group.
He gets right down in your face again, and like with some sort of like this desperate catch in his voice, he says, "My mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun."
Mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun.
He floats around you again, and he says, he speaks, "She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes. But that's wrong. But that's wrong. No, old anger has her. Old anger has her."
Old anger. Can you show us where this old anger lies? Octavian will say.
"Oh, eagerly I wish the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow." He seems very agitated now, floating around. No, that's not right. That's not right." He gets in Octavian's face and says, "Oh, go and catch a falling star. Get with child a mandrake root. Tell me where our past things are, or who cleft the devil's foot. But no, that's wrong."
I want to. This is a DM question. I want to see if this would work at all. Octavian has one other special spell he can use, which is called Beast Sense. Now, normally Beast Sense lets you, see through a beast's eyes and hear what it hears. What I'm kind of wanting to know is if Octavian, he wants to see if he can cast this on the butterfly and hear what he hears, kind of in his mind, like he's suspecting that this creature is seeing and hearing things that are sort of beyond the normal. He almost wants to enter its mind. possible. I don't know if that's outside of the range of this spell, or if it's something he could use this for.
All right, yeah, you could give it a shot.
Okay, so it doesn't require, the spell itself doesn't require a roll. If you'd like, I can make some sort of special roll for this bigger effect.
Yes, I would like you to make me an insight check.
Okay, insight check.
You're supposed to be good at this.
Reading this time.
All right, finally.
I was nervous. I was really nervous.
You reach out and you let the butterfly land on the tip of your finger, and you connect your senses to its senses. And as that happens, this sense washes over you of wrongness, something terribly wrong, some horrible tragedy that has happened. Make me a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, I love it. Where's my saves? Here's my saves. Boop. And that is a 9.
You guys see Octavian stagger and fall to his knees.
Oh, jeez.
Tears streaming from his eyes as this wave of worry and sorrow washes over you. And as you connect with the butterfly, and you get the feeling of someone's in trouble and someone needs help. As you take on this sadness, the butterfly seems to calm down a little bit, and it says, no, listen. Light the candle, there you go. Read the book, that's how you'll know. Lastly, you must ring the bell once, twice, thrice, and all is well.
Book. I'm making notes.
Light the candle, read the book, ring the bell thrice, and all is well.
Is there a
And
book
I will
nearby?
go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and put this in your journals.
Perfect.
So you'll have access to it. Boom.
And-
so there you go.
And Octavian is just sobbing here. He's
Octavian, you're going to have disadvantage on the next roll you make.
beautiful. It won't change much. Octavian is feeling, I mean, if nobody else is doing anything, Octavian is wanting to go. He's feeling like, now he's distraught, and he feels like he needs to save whoever this is. I think he's going to start desperately looking, walking, Fiddle, you've mentioned about the paths, and all the stuff between the stones, right?
Well, Widdle did. I don't know if Fiddle did.
Widdle did. Yeah, Widdle and Fiddle. How are you not brothers? And then he starts walking just in between different stones, seeing if it's taking him anywhere.
The butterfly remains on your shoulder, and
Okay.
as you're doing that, you still have this connection. How long does the spell last? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, that's a good question.
So-
A spell lasts for up to an hour.
All right, great. So you still have this sense of the butterfly, and as you move, you are walking around the inside. And you're going no, and then you stop, and you're like, it's this way.
Nice.
Yeah, and Octavian is he's really I'm playing this failed saving row as he's sort of lost himself in this for a minute. He used to spell pretty dangerously, and now he is lost a little bit. So he's almost seems to not see you guys or forget about you, and he just starts walking that way through. And I'm guessing that's through one of the stone.
Yes, you
Got it.
walk between a
Paths,
couple of
okay.
stones,
So he just
and you can see a
disappeared.
path, and you're like, that's the way. That's where we're
And he
going.
goes.
I kind of look at the other two and I say, well, in the world of the Fae, best to follow the enchanted giant being led by a butterfly.
Stub's actually so focused on the well-being of the butterfly that he doesn't even really notice that Octavian's wobbling. He's just like, the butterfly sounds so distraught, I must take care of it. So he's focused on the butterfly. So he's following the butterfly, not even Octavian.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
I mean, I can't be left behind by my party.
You picked this party. Good job.
We're great.
Well, it seems to be working out so far.
I'm,
Yeah, I like it.
falling into things. It's fine.
All right, I'm going to reveal.
That's right. That's what you hired me for.
Falling into things. Oh man.
Okay, very highly recommended. He's got great insight, they said.
I love how many
Perception
spells. I love how many spells Octavian and Stubbs have in common.
Yeah, it's funny though because I think we have like different like I can use Beast Sense and Speak of Animals like once each for free, but then,
I don't have that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I
Okay.
probably won't be doing too much of it now. Now he's trying to save his spell slots.
So I've revealed a little bit more of this map here. As you go charging down the path, once again you find yourself in a forest path, and after some time, it's really impossible to say how long. Again, you see a clearing ahead of you. The forest opens up, and you see a hill before you, and on the hill is some kind of a temple-like structure. And as you're approaching it, you hear music. There is a strong music on the air. You hear the sound of pipes. The music is strange, though. It's ever so slightly off kilter, but Octavian knows that that this is what we're here for. This is why we need to find, and he rushes headlong, heedless towards the music. And I'm going to go ahead and move you onto another map.
Ooh.
So Stubbs has the ability to play a flute. Like, how off kilter does this sound to him?
Make me an insight check.
Oh, all right. 16.
It's disturbing, actually. It's a little disturbing.
Like it's like one of those things where it's maybe set
Slightly
in a
off
major key. Yeah, it's like it's in a minor key when it should be a major key, or vice versa, and you're just kind of like, this doesn't sound right for what it should be.
Yeah, it doesn't sound quite right. It is intriguing.
It's a bunch of Kanye West songs.
Okay, whoops. Oh,
So it's the best music ever, is what you're saying?
Oh, I didn't know Kayvon was in the party.
All right. Let's go ahead and throw your fairy dragon on here as well. So Octavian, you rush up to this temple. Can everybody see the map all right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Okay. So, and you see that in this sort of like this stone temple pagoda type thing, there are a pair of satyrs. One of them is playing, is on his pipes, and the other is dancing about riotously. And off to one side, you can see a centaur stamping at the ground, like just stamping in circles, not quite dancing. And as Octavian, as you run forward, the one with the pipes, who's up closer to the middle of the temple, he shouts out, "Oh, Brother Andros, there are more folk here." And the other satyr shouts back to him, "Oh, Brother Boreas, they must join us. They must join us." And
No. Oh, no.
the first satyr redoubles his efforts on the pipes, and at that point, Octavian is going to have to make a save, and I will tell you what kind of save you're going to have to make in just a moment.
And it's going to be a disadvantage because I have.
Yes.
That was my next roll.
This is so good. Oh, it's like all the revenge I've ever wanted when you're DMing.
Except it's the whole party,
Level one
Stalker.
game.
Oh god.
All right, I need a wisdom
For
saving throw.
TPK, as long as it's John's fault.
Oh, okay.
Wisdom saving
All right,
throw
here we
from
go.
Octavian.
Well, not much difference between them,
No.
but it's an 11 and a 9, but 9 is the lower.
Okay. So Octavian, dancing. Dancing is the way to solve this problem, and you begin dancing.
That's
and Octavian
amazing.
Immediately runs up here into the temple and begins dancing. The butterfly quickly flies away from you. You're not quite sure where it goes. I mean, it's probably still hovering around someplace. Let's see. What is the range on this effect? This is 60 feet. So let's see. Oh wow, that's
I-
everybody but Deltrana.
Woo!
Yeah. So I need Twiddlefoot and Stub to also make me wisdom saving throws.
Real
This-
quick, does this make me would this affect my concentration at all?
Let's see.
Oh, never mind. Sorry, it's not a concentration spell. My bad.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
Is this a magical effect that I'm resisting?
Yes, it is a magical effect.
All right, so I have advantage because of my racial ability.
Oh yeah, and I would have had Pete close, so I would get his magic resistance. So
The advantage I get 16.
Okay, so Stub, you the music is trying to work its way into your head, but you shake it up. You shake it off, and Widdle the same with you. You feel it like sort of like trying to get into your head, but you shake it off.
I immediately turn back to Deltrana and be like, "Stand back! The music is twisted."
I look at her and I say, "Our enchanted Firbolg is now even more enchanted."
And he's just clapping and dancing.
The centaur looks at the three of you who are hanging back, and he turns to the others and says, "They're not dancing. Why aren't they dancing?" And the other satyr who is dancing turns to him and says, "Oh, Calabec, oh, don't be angry, please. Just enjoy life." He says, "But they're not dancing," and he pulls out of the ground next to him an enormous spear-like glaive.
Oh, hold on. No need
Yes?
for violence. I pull out of my pack a mandolin. We were hoping to perform as well.
Okay.
Oh, I should note I have
What-
entertainer as my background.
So
So
what are you doing with the mandolin?
I start playing. I try to match.
Give me a performance check.
It does. It's
Alrighty.
amazing.
This is glorious.
Come on, Widdle.
Woo!
Whittle that fiddle.
Success.
Nice.
Okay. The centaur calms down. He shoves his pole arm back into the ground, and he begins again angrily stomping in a circle like he was before. So, for the moment, no one appears to be getting violent.
I look at the other two. I'm like, please come up with a plan.
Octavian increases his dancing. Dancing intensifies.
So Widdle is busy performing. Stub and Deltrana can both make me perception checks.
Yes, let's try that.
14 for me.
Okay.
You're distracted by the music.
I am very
Morgan's
distracted.
career of being very perceptive
I
continues.
know. One of these days I'll play a perceptive character.
So, Stub, you can see as you're looking around trying to figure out what the plan is, you notice that on a pedestal in the middle of the of this pagoda-like area over here, on a pedestal there is an iron bell,
The bell ring 3 times.
Oh.
a small iron handbell.
I don't see anything else like a torch or a book or anything.
Nope.
I mentioned to Deltrana and Widdle, I'm like, there's a bell in the middle, but I don't see a book or a candle.
So is this like a charm thing with the music?
Yes.
Okay. Deltrana may have a plan. I'm thinking that she's going to cast protection from evil and good.
Okay.
I suppose I could do it on myself or on Stubbs. I'll cast it on myself and walk forward and see if I'm unaffected by the music.
Until the spell ends, protection grants creatures that have disadvantage tackles that can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed. Awesome. Okay, yeah. All right, so you're casting it on yourself and walking forward?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and move yourself forward.
I'm gonna mosey forward. So oops, I can't.
Oh. Make sure that you have.
I can
Why
highlight.
can't you?
I can't touch my token at all.
I think she just needs to be given. She just needs to be given permission. I think.
Yeah, hang on. Let me try and figure out why that is happening. You should be able to.
I can move
Oh, here
other
we go.
people.
Here we go. There we go. There we go.
Yay!
You got it. Okay.
Diagonal's like what, 15? So.
No diagonals. This is 5e.
Okay.
1 square is 5 feet, no matter how you moving.
All right, so I'm gonna start moseying forward, and am I still good? Am I suddenly
you're
caught
still
by
good.
music?
You as you get closer, you feel the music trying to work its way into you, but you center yourself. You draw on your faith, and it forms a bulwark in your mind, and you're able to shut out the music. Both the satyrs and Twiddlefoots, because he's pretty distracting too. He's rocking out.
Deltrana, come join me and show me how light you are on your feet. I could
around him.
use a pretty face to dance with.
What? I'll be right there. One moment, and then she heads to the center towards the bell.
Okay, you see, sitting on the pedestal. And let me go ahead and... Why does this thing not have a show to the players thing? All right.
I'm glad I took that one. That was a last-minute decision there.
Boom. You see a rusty iron handbell inscribed with some strange runes sitting on the pedestal. And everybody has that handout now.
Oh, handouts.
Iron bell. Fancy.
It is fancy, with weird runes. Okay. I'm assuming I can't
That's a
read the
nice
runes on
looking
it?
bell.
No.
Okay.
They are magical runes. They are not language runes.
So she's gonna holler back to Widdle and be like, 3 times, right?
We need to find a book and a candle first. I wouldn't necessarily do it.
Oh.
Messing up the rules in the Fey realm is not always the best plan.
Can Octavian try to dance over to Deltrana and grab her and get her to dance with him, like as a grapple?
Oh no! Why are you trying to mess up me?
Why is John trying to be more difficult?
He's taking the spell very seriously. This dance is like he's loving it. We added a mandolin into this. He really failed his saving throw. He's big on this right now.
I mean, is there? What was it? It was a book and hang on.
It would be opposed. Athletics checks.
Oh, there it is.
Deltrana, you down?
Oh no, I'm really not down. I don't want to dance. Is there a candle or a book around? Can we try in perception again, or am I just doomed to never perception?
There's no candle and no book around.
Guys, I think I just need to ring the bell.
I don't like that plan.
I mean, it does say light the candle first, which could imply we went down the wrong path first.
Yeah, I tell Stubbs to take Pete with him and try to get around to one of these other paths and see if he can see a similar temple, any similar temples nearby.
I'll try to head away from the centaur, so I'm going to go to the left.
Despite what the map looks like, there's only one path in and out here.
Oh, okay.
So one way in and out of this area.
All right.
And it's the way that you've come. Give me just a second, guys. You know what? I have to. I'm sorry. Roll20 has thrown me a difficult bit, so I'm just going to back out of it and then back into it again to reset my.
This is a good time, Deltrana. Let's make our rolls. You could probably use acrobatics to try to dodge me if you have a better acrobatics.
God. I have athletics, weirdly enough.
Oh, you probably be better than me.
Let me get back to chat.
Okay, good. There we go. All right, I'm ready to go.
I rolled a 20.
You rolled a 20. Okay.
Oh,
Deltrana rolled an 11. Okay.
No.
So Deltrana, you're being manhandled by
Oh, God.
Octavian.
It's so unfortunate.
Did Deltrana pick up the bell? You didn't mention if Deltrana picked up the bell or not. I don't think you did.
I don't. No, I hadn't quite. I was waiting to see,
Alright.
like, to confirm. It was 3 times. Right?
So as you're reaching out to grab the bell, Octavian grabs you and starts waltzing around. You know.
God. Okay.
Perfect. So Stubbs turns to Widdle and goes, this is the only path. There's no other way. Do you think maybe the book or the candle could be on these Fae? That's with a question mark.
Did you just rhyme that intentionally?
No, Stubbs just kind of was like going with the flow of the song.
Oh no.
I think perhaps.
Stubbs, can you still speak with animals?
It wore off after 10 minutes, so if we traveled long enough.
Well, you're not sure how long you traveled.
Okay, I'll try, but
because the butterfly is hovering around near you now.
okay, I'll speak with the butterfly and be like, dear friend, I see no candle, no book. Is this the end?
The butterfly says, so twice 5 miles of fertile ground with walls and towers was girdled round, and there were gardens bright with sinuous rills, where blossomed many an incense-bearing tree, and here were forests ancient as the hills, enfolding sunny spots of greenery. And he sort of like flutters back along the path a little bit.
Oh crud! We gotta get away and come back here later, maybe. Oh no.
Yeah.
Stub, make me an insight check.
Okay. No,
Ooh.
5.
Ooh.
Stub, from that, yeah, the butterfly definitely wants you to go back the way you came at some point.
Well, I probably don't really understand what the butterfly was trying to tell me. It's just that it doesn't want to hang around here, but that doesn't mean anything to me. I'm just like, oh yeah, I wouldn't want to hang around here either. The music's too loud.
Do you shout out the poetry?
I'll tell it to Widdle, not to anyone else.
Widdle, you make me a history or arcana check.
That will be a history check.
Come on, Widdle.
11.
Okay.
Oh.
You recognize this verse too. It's from a poem about a fantastical realm that had many parts.
Yeah, the butterfly is definitely telling us that we took the wrong path first. I don't know how we're going to get our friends out, but I have an idea.
You want to try to lead it away with music as I pull out my flute?
Yes, that is
I have no
exactly what
performance.
my plan is.
I have no performance ability, but I can try to help.
Can I have Deltrana? Deltrana, you've got Arcana, right?
I do.
You're make me an Arcana check.
Okay, one moment. Arcana.
If you fail it, oh my, never mind.
Okay.
If I fail it, ye have little faith.
So
I thought you were going to fail because you were dancing.
When Widdle relates his information, something jogs in your mind. The butterfly mentioned a bell, a book, and a candle, which would seem to imply a ritual that would require those items together.
You're going to have to grab the bell.
I'm gonna have to take the bell. Okay, and I'm gonna try and get Octavian to dance back towards the pedestal for a minute. Be like, hey, I gotta make more music.
Make me a performance check.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Oh no.
This is the best. I came very highly recommended.
22? No, sorry, that was the Arcana check. Where's the performance
21.
check at? 21. Okay.
There it is.
Yeah,
Hey.
there it is. So yes, you dance Octavian back over next to the bell.
Yep. I'll snatch that bell off the pedestal and try and make sure it doesn't make a noise. So she's gonna like tuck it under an arm.
Okay. So you quickly snatch the bell off, and when you do, the satyr stops playing. And the centaur stops dancing, and the other satyr stops as well. And they all kind of like look at you. Like
I do that thing where like you're just you're going, and then you realize. So it just kind of like slows down, and I'm like, we're gonna fight again, aren't we?
We tried.
Is Octavian still under the spell?
Octavian, you are still dancing, actually. You can still hear the music in your head.
Oh, jeez.
But you have let go of Deltrana.
Should I, do I make another wisdom save?
Let me just double check something. Whoops. Tell me, roll 20.
Octavian's going to start taking some levels of exhaustion. All this dancing.
Really good
Yeah,
workout.
go ahead and make me a another wisdom saving throw.
And that is a 22, actually.
22.
Wow.
Yay.
Okay, you do realize
First
that
good
maybe
roll.
you should stop dancing, but you do take a level of exhaustion from all the
Perfect.
dancing.
Love it. Let's
Like,
get
you are-
that going.
You are no longer charmed for the moment, as the satyr and the centaur, the satyrs and the centaur all stop and look at you, and the centaur grabs his weapon again, looks at you and says, "No, no, 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 no." And at that point, we can roll initiative again.
Oh, yay. Initiative.
Click on me.
All right. Let's see what I got.
Oh, I didn't send it. I forgot to have myself selected.
Yeah.
Are you getting a 0.14 in your initiative?
There's a thing that you can do in settings so that if there's a tie, it shows your actual dex score to see who would be slightly faster.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, the
All
settings
right.
do not have any of that for me.
Robert, I didn't have myself selected. Can you add my
Sure.
16?
Mm-hmm.
I could probably fix your character sheet, Stalker, when I get a second.
Okay.
Oops. I'm sorry. I accidentally left roll 20. I'll be right back.
Well, I'll fix everything. Bye. I found the ad.
Sounds like
text
my
tiebreaker.
dad.
I found it.
right,
Let's see. What did you roll,
let's see.
Deltrana?
16.
16. Got it.
And I'm coming. I just got to grab my character and make this roll.
Yep.
There he is. And initiative. Roll it. Boom.
All right.
Did you select your?
We tied.
Yeah, nice.
16 looks like.
Okay. Widdle, you are up first. Centaur is armed and looking dangerous. The satyrs both look kind of unsure of what to do. Well, Widdle?
Sorry.
Did you forget you weren't Fiddle?
I did get confused that I wasn't Fiddle for a minute.
Mr. Twiddlefoot.
So I come up to here. This is the guy with the flute, right?
No, he's the other guy. The other satyr is
He's
the one
the-
with the flute. That's the guy who was dancing. The satyr with the flute is over by the pedestal.
Okay. So I come up to the dancing guy and I say, hey, we're all just here to have a good time. Maybe we should just we could find someplace else to play music and dance.
Make me a persuasion check.
Ooh. Nice.
Nice. So the satyr is like, that sounds lovely to me, my friend, but, and he points towards the centaur, who is definitely getting ready to do something violent. But that'll be your action. You have a bonus action.
I have a bonus action. I don't think I have anything that I can bonus action. So I will just look at Pete and just be like,
You're
go.
a dragon, yes. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. And I'll look at Pete and point at the centaur and say, sick him.
Okay.
Uh,
How fast can Pete fly?
Depends on if
60
he's running
feet.
towards the centaur
60
or
feet.
away from it.
So
All
he's
right.
gonna fly at him, and
All right,
he's gonna
I got him. There
bite
you go.
him.
He flies up to the centaur, and here I'll go ahead and I will. What happened to Pete? Let's bring him back.
I see him.
Let me hang on. There's it. Fairy dragon. Okay, boom. Pop him out so that I can access him. All right. Oh no, hang on. I need to hang on. I have to add Pete twice so that he's in the thing. Boom. There he is. All right. Here's Pete. And Pete's gonna come up and take a bite. That's the action he's gonna do? He's gonna take a bite?
Yeah, let me roll for that.
I got you.
Oh, you got me. Awesome.
I got you. Oh, he hits. He does 1 point of damage.
That's fantastic.
So Pete zips right across the glade. Wings bared, looking really, really angry, flapping his little wings. He zeroes into the thing, comes right up to the centaur. The centaur raises his arm like that, and Pete sinks his fangs into the centaur's arm and goes, ow! And then lets go and falls to the ground, but is still looking on the ground, hissing at the
He's being all fierce. He's like
Yeah.
he's like a tiny dog that thinks it's a guard dog. He's just like,
very much so. Yes, he may have chipped a tooth though. Okay, then Fiddle, Mr. Stub.
Yes, Stubbs is going to look at the situation as a time to realize that he can only move 25 feet. So he's going to cast Moonbeam
Okay.
right on the centaur because there's no way he'd be able to get over there in time. So he casts Moonbeam and I get a...
Oh yeah, that hits.
I crit. That's a crit.
Wow.
Radiant damage. Nice.
So it's normally only going to be 2d10.
Right, but you did. Yeah.
So,
that's, it includes the crit. Normally it's D10 plus 9, so it's the 2d10 plus 9.
nice.
So it's 20 points of damage.
Yeah.
So you call upon the power of the moon, and in this particular place, that power appears to be quite strong.
Very, very potent.
As a beam of moonlight slams down upon the centaur, and he shields his eyes. Octavian.
How bad does this centaur look?
He looks like he just got rocked quite hard by that moonbeam.
Okay. Octavian is going to use a spell slot and a bonus spell, and he sees that everything's gone wrong, and he's very confused because last thing he knew, he was rocking out to some music. He had an amazing partner with Morgan, Deltrana, and now suddenly everybody's fighting. It's all gone wrong. It takes him back to his prom days. He pulls forward his longbow, and he's going to get about as far away as he can while still having a good shot on this guy. So,
okay, there's a lot of stone columns in the way, so you'd have to get out of the temple, I think, to have a really good shot.
Okay, then let's see. Could he get he moves 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I think actually he might have to get closer. But
Okay.
to get that great shot. So he'll run right between these pillars, take aim, and he's gonna try to cast Ensnaring Strike as well as his attack. So
Okay.
let's see. If this hits, it'll do extra stuff. If not, the spell remains until he hits.
Gotcha.
This is his first attack, which is a 18.
18 hits.
It would deal 4 piercing damage.
It does.
And then in addition, the centaur must succeed on a strength saving throw. Now, he's large, right?
Yes, he is.
So he does have advantage on this.
Ooh, okay.
but it's a DC 15.
All right. Let me see.
And what this would look like for while Rob's rolling that is basically his arrow hits, and then almost like where it embeds all these, like instead of blood coming out, these vines rip all around and try to ensnare the centaur.
All right. He rolls a 23 with his advantage.
And he stomps those ensnaring vines to smithereens, and he's fine. So I'll take I'll second shot though, because I do have let's see if I cast it. So the spell is done, but I can take one more shot, just a normal shot, and he will do that if it'll let me roll. Boop.
The shot goes
more
wide.
like it. Oh, that's what I'm used to.
All right.
Awesome.
Okay, Deltrana, it's your turn.
Okay.
The satyrs still look quite unsure about what to do. Especially the one standing next to you. He's kind of like looking at the bell in your hand.
Let me see here. I'm not sure I could intimidate him into not going for it. She's gonna give him a verbal warning of don't even think about it, and then turn her attention to the satyr here. Or not the satyr, the centaur. I'm gonna scooch forward here and then once again try my flame fang, because one of these times it's gonna hurt, right? It's gonna actually go through and like hit somebody, right?
I mean, you're a cleric, so of course you have faith.
I have
Centaur
all
makes-
of the faith that this is going to work. Dang it.
Centaur makes a dex save. 21.
Oh my god. Alright, I give up.
You hit Pete.
All right. Do you have
I
a bonus action?
I didn't even think the satyrs might be against you. I thought they were maybe checking that like you're their master or something.
All right. Yeah, no, I don't have anything to do at this moment, bonus action wise. I'm holding on to mine.
Okay.
I have limited bonus actions.
It's the satyr's turn, and the satyr is like the one with the pipes. He's looking at the pedestal, and he's looking at the pipes in his hand. And he's sort of like shaking his head, like, no, it's wrong. It's all wrong. Why are we fighting? It's and he like stumbles back to here. And as he stumbles back there, you see him look up, and he gets this weird expression on his face, and this strange coruscating purple and blue light falls on him, lighting him up from above.
Whoa.
And that's when you notice that there was something perched on top of the temple just behind it you couldn't see as it takes flight. Boom. There it is.
Kill it!
An evil butterfly.
Kill it!
An enormous purple and blue moth.
A giant moth.
It looks extremely twisted and crooked and strange and alien. And its wings are shimmering in a strange pattern. Let me bring him into the initiative.
This is when we need a Taras to come fight.
Oh, I was just thinking I need you guys to save its reproductive organs.
No, didn't it go in there?
Wait,
all right.
Which character are you playing again there?
15, 17. Okay.
He's trying to make a lich.
No, this is perfect. Okay. And we can just move him up to his proper place in the initiative. Boom. Okay. And he is using his dazzle ability. All right. Yeah, and the centaur suddenly looks extremely confused. and is shaking his head and just like he doesn't know what to do. So that's what it does on its turn. That satyr is completely bedazzled. This satyr over here runs over next to Widdle and sort of like glomps onto him and says, "It's wrong. It's all wrong." And he's shaking you. Go ahead and make me an athletics check because he's basically trying to grapple you.
Can I use acrobatics to try to wiggle out of it?
Yeah, you can.
Wiggle. 21.
Such a Widdle
only
wiggle.
12. So he's trying to basically, shake you and glomp onto you and grab you, and he seems most upset.
I say, it's fine. We'll fix it. Just get in the temple. Don't worry.
It's the centaur's turn. What's the centaur going to do? Deltrana's got the bell, so the centaur is going to move around Pete, pretty much ignoring him. And he is going to let loose with his pike. So yeah, actually what he's going to do is he's going to rear up and he's going to stomp on Deltrana with his hooves. That's only a 13. Does a 13 hit you?
No.
All right. So you fend him off with your armor or your shield or
Shield.
I don't even shield. Yep. Kapang, kapang. And then seeing the guy who shot him a moment ago, he swings his pike around the corner here at Octavian because he's got 10-foot reach on that. But I'm going to give him disadvantage because you're on the other side of that
Pillar, yeah.
Of the pillar, yeah. So he'll swing his pike with disadvantage. That's a 12. So I assume that does not hit.
No, 15 AC.
Okay.
So
Gotcha. All right.
looks like it would have been a nasty one, though.
Yes. All right. Widdle, you're up.
All right. I look at the freaking out satyr and I'm like, just give me a minute. We'll get this all sorted out. And then I move over here. That should give me a clear line of sight to the centaur.
Mm-hmm.
And then I am going to hit it with an Eldritch Blast, hopefully.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
You're going to hit it so hard with the Eldritch Blast that he falls to the ground unconscious.
Yeah. So I turn to the satyr and I say, see? Problem solved. Now let's deal with whatever caused that sparkly thing on the other side. Because I haven't seen the... I was on the other side of the temple. Have I seen the giant moth?
You see its shadow, certainly. You see that there's some huge flying thing hovering overhead. But you can't get quite a good glimpse. But there's all this weird light reflecting off everything. It's very confusing. It's like it's getting hard to focus. Pete will bite the unconscious centaur.
Yeah, Pete will bite the unconscious centaur.
Let's see if he hits. Actually, no. So he takes 2 death saves off the unconscious centaur. And then it's Stub's turn.
Oh, I actually have one more throw of the Eldritch Blast. If I can, within 15 feet, get a clear line. I'm gonna. If I move back here,
Octavian will call out and say, "Wait! Don't kill him. I think there's something wrong with these creatures."
If you back up that far, then yes, you can see the Gloomwing hovering over the temple.
I've got room. I will take another shot with Eldritch Blast.
Okay. Yes, indeed, you do.
Nice.
Excellent.
Alrighty. So yeah, I blast it, and that's my turn. And Pete tried to murder the centaur, and we're good.
Okay. Octavian, it's your turn.
Octavian.
No, it's Stub's turn.
It's my turn.
Stub's turn. Sorry, yes. Stub.
So how did Widdle hit the moth?
Yes, he did.
Okay. So how far can I get? I don't think I can get within range to do any kind of range attack, but I'm going to move 25 feet up. I think that's there.
All right.
And that's where I'll end my turn.
Gotcha. All right, Deltrana.
Yes. So Deltrana is going to, now that she's seen the floaty moth thing, she is going to swap to her crossbow. She has a light crossbow.
Okay.
So I think that means I have to like drop the current weapon that I have.
You can just put it away. It's fine.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Great. And let's see. So that is a... Well, I don't think I set this up right, but I will try.
Okay. Are you shooting at the Gloomwing?
Yes. I think that just did the attack, though. Was that just...
That is just the attack, but it does not hit. All right.
Sad.
Then
I rolled terrible.
okay. It's the Gloomwing's turn. The Gloomwing...
Does Octavian go? Sorry, just I think because I have 16 as well.
Yeah.
Yes. You know what? We're one ahead in the initiative. Hang on. I'm just gonna.
Not a worry.
I screwed everything up.
Now it's yes, we missed Octavian. That's who we missed. Sorry.
Not a worry. Not a worry. Octavian. He sees the centaur down. He tries to yell at Pete, like leave the beast, leave the poor creature be. I think they're under some sort of spell. And then, assuming this moth creature is the source of the spell, God, does the moth creature? I mean, does he look evil? Does he look like he's?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
He does.
Perfect. Just making sure
He
he's
looks
not
weird
like...
and twisted and unnatural.
Then once again, seeing that he's flying, Octavian is going to try to do his best to bring it to the ground using again his ensnaring strike, hoping that he can wrap vines around this thing and drag it to the earth.
Okay.
So longbow hit. It's a 21 to hit.
That hits. Does 9 damage.
And then he has to make a strength saving throw, and again he gets advantage because he is large.
He's huge, in fact.
Huge.
Huge with a Y. Huge.
Huge.
Okay.
And it's a DC 15.
Strength saving throw. Okay. That's a 20, so he shakes it off.
Darn,
It's too big.
12.
Too big to bring down.
Once again, and how is he looking after that good hit with his longbow?
That was a solid hit.
And Octavian is really debating whether he wants to go again. He is going to. He's already used his bonus action to cast that spell, so he's going to attack. Just use his second attack to just attack it.
Okay.
Fits another notches another arrow to his bow. Does not get it. Always his second shot. He always goes too fast on that second shot.
Yep. All right.
Bumps into his great sword when he's grabbing for the quiver.
Yeah.
as far as movement, I'm just gonna move him around. He's gonna basically go running after it, trying to stay in sight of it.
Okay, gotcha. Deltrana.
Yes.
Yes. Did we do your turn or not? We did not do your turn.
We did.
That was the
I failed.
crossbow.
I failed
The
with my
crossbow. Okay. All right.
I'm not allowed to attack
right.
anything ever.
Then it's the Gloomwing's turn. The Gloomwing is going to... What's it going to do? Yeah. Okay, so the first thing it's going to do is... All right, it's going to throw off its dazzle attack. So odds, it'll go after Deltrana. Evens, it'll go after Octavian. Evens, it goes for Octavian. Octavian, hang on, you think you need permissions to move Octavian again. So let me go ahead and represents GM notes. Hang on, where is it? Determined by character settings. Hang on a second.
Sorry, this
Go
is
ahead.
me, guys. I lost my control of Octavian.
You're still dancing.
I'm still dancing.
In your heart, you're still dancing.
It's always going to be like he's going to struggle when he hears music when he gets back to the real world. People are going to start playing.
Right.
He's going to be like, stop.
Can you move him now?
No, can't see. Oh wait, yes I can. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay,
gotcha.
perfect. So
All
he was
right.
just charging after the moth.
Yep. Okay. But the moth is going to dazzle you, so you need to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
All right. Octavian's feeling good. See what happens.
No.
Hey!
Oh,
17.
You are. You shake it off. So you do get an attack of opportunity as it tries to move away from you.
Ah, beautiful. Yeah, he when he was running off, he put away his longbow.
Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. You know what? I did the dazzle attack when you weren't in base contact. He actually wouldn't have done the dazzle. If you're right there, he would have just attacked you. So
Perfect. Okay,
Yeah. Let me do that again.
that is fine.
Yeah.
One good save.
He'll bite
I
you.
will-
He'll bite you for 8 piercing damage, and he will claw you. Does 16 hit you?
Does just barely.
Right. So he'll claw you for another 8. So that's total 16
Oof.
damage.
All right.
And I don't know why I attack with advantage. He does not have advantage on that.
Oh, okay. I wondered.
Yeah.
No worries. No worries. I thought, oh, this guy's really strong.
No, he would have had advantage if you were dazzled, but no. Okay. But then you will get an attack. Well, no, he'll stay there. He'll stay there and try and take you out. Then it's the satyr's turn. So this satyr over here is stumbling around very confused, and he wanders in here, and he sees Deltrana with the bell, and he runs at you.
Okay.
And he is going to try and ram you
Okay.
with his horns, but it's only a 7.
No.
So he bounces off your shield and he falls on his ass.
She kind of like looks over and is like, okay.
That's very
Robert.
goat-like of him.
The other satyr sees what's happening and bugs out. He runs. He runs off in this direction, trying to get away from the fight. The centaur is unconscious.
Okay.
And that leaves us with Mr. Twiddlefoot.
All right. As long as I can see the Gloomwing, I don't
You
have
have
control
a-
of Pete, but I'll have Pete move up to me. I see that it's trying to charm people and stuff, so I want Pete close to me so I can take advantage of his
He'll zip back over
resistance.
to you. If you take a shot at the Gloomwing now, because it's on the ground on the other side of the temple, you will have disadvantage on the shot.
Okay. Let's
It's
see.
very hard to draw line of sight.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that can strengthen, like pull it down to ground? Like any spells?
It's pretty close to the ground already. It's in your face, trying to
Yeah.
claw your eyes out.
Yeah, it had to go down to bite you.
I just kind of want to restrain it.
I could potentially do
might
something.
be able to
Oh, cool.
do that, actually. I am going to cast one of my 2 spell slots.
Okay.
I will cast Sleep.
Oh,
Is that a
at-
charm effect?
Oh yeah, it is a charm effect, isn't it?
All right.
Why don't I have it on
I mean,
here?
casting sleep on a fey creature isn't particularly a good idea.
yeah, that probably won't work if you try to cast.
And
sleep on
you
a
would
fey.
know that, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I
you've dealt
would
with
know
it.
that. Never mind.
would know
never
that, yeah.
mind.
You should know that.
For some reason I didn't write it on my sheet. Oh well.
I think Stalker said
Um,
he has an ability to restrain it, so we'll.
I could do
Okay.
something.
Then I'm just going to go here. I think that's the closest I can get to it. I don't think I
Okay.
have clean line of sight.
No, you still have disadvantage on the shot if you're taking an Eldritch Blast.
I will take it though.
I mean,
Okay.
it's a cantrip. May as well.
Yeah. I'm not stressing that. 14 hit.
14 is just misses. It impacts on the pillar next to it.
All right, I will give it one more go.
Octavian yells, where are you aiming?
What are you
That one
aiming at?
hit.
16 does hit, yes. For 12
damn.
points of force damage. It's not looking well. All right. Stub.
So it's looking pretty bad.
Yeah.
All right. I can move within 30 feet of it, right?
I think so. Yeah. There we go.
And then I'm going to cast Produce Flame and attack it with Produce Flame.
All right. You jump up on the pedestal and say,
Because that's the only way I can
leave
see.
your friend alone.
That's the only way I can see.
That
17 to hit and 8 fire.
Yes. Let me just make sure that it doesn't have any threat. Nope. Okay. So yeah, it catches fire and it starts flailing around as it slowly burns. The gossamer of its wings catches quite quickly, as the fire races along it, it's got and is now just sort of like a writhing, pupacious husk on the ground that quickly goes still.
That's horrific. I mean,
Also,
was
it
attacking
smells
us,
like
but
burning moth, which is never fun.
pretty awful, yeah.
And at that point, the satyr on the ground, he kind of like shakes his head and he looks up and he's going, "What am I doing? What's going on? It's all wrong."
Yeah, we would like to know that as well.
And he looks over and he says, he sees the centaur and he says, "Oh, my friend, what's happened to you?" And he goes over to the centaur and he puts his hand on the centaur and it's like, "Oh, my poor friend."
Octavian wants to go over and actually use his cure wounds on this centaur because he realized that there was something wrong here. He definitely doesn't want this centaur to die, so he's going to use one of his remaining. It might be his last spell, level 1 spell slot.
Sorry, I just love that the cleric is not doing any healing.
The cleric's just standing there while stuff bounces off of her.
I've taken
It's
no
good. You're
damage. I've done no damage.
You're saving yours. You're saving yours.
Cleric stops just to stand in the middle of the combat with the shield and let things bounce off of her.
Pretty much.
Oh, not the best, but it does get my
it's enough.
my +7 to that, so it does get 8.
Okay. So he comes back with 8 hit points. He's still looking pretty wrecked. And the satyr basically is there and he's saying, This is all wrong. That thing shouldn't be here. What can the queen be thinking? Oh, someone must get word to her.
Which queen is that?
The queen of the wood. This is her realm. But it's wrong. Something's gone terribly wrong.
When did this
And
start?
he looks and he sees Deltrana holding the bell.
Yeah.
And he's
I
like,
was about to ask about that.
"Why are you taking that?"
Everybody just turns and looks at
Stubbs repeats, light the candle, read the book, ring the bell 3 times.
And then he nods and he says, "Oh, something must be very wrong indeed. Then go quickly. Don't waste no time. Waste no time. Why are you still standing here? Go!"
Go where?
You heard the partial man?
Stubbs just kind of shrugs and goes, "Okay," and starts heading out.
I write my name on a little slip of paper and hand it to the satyr and say, "If you ever want to jam again, that was fun."
As you're doing that, he grabs you by the wrist and he pulls you close and he whispers to you, "Be careful with the Falaran."
Falaran. Do I
Yes.
know that word? Am I familiar with that word?
Is that the
Make me
name
an
of
Arcana check.
the bell?
Arcana check? I will make. 4. I am not familiar with that word.
No,
Not even going to
not
write
at
it
all.
down.
Did I hear
Is
that? 'Cause I'm
Deltrana
right next
asking?
to him.
Is Deltrana going to ask about the bell before you leave?
Yeah.
He
Go ahead.
he will tell you that if you ring the bell, it will alleviate suffering.
So we need to find the candle and the book.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll be right back, everybody. I just got to go do something with my son. But Octavian is going to be just focused on curing the centaur, and we'll follow the group. I'll be back
Okay.
very, very shortly.
All right.
If we need to take a
So
quick
do you
like,
all?
2-minute break.
Yeah, I was going to say,
something.
do we want to take a comfort break?
Yes, that'd be perfect.
I
for
could
me.
use a pacing break, yeah. Like a
Yeah,
low
we'll
5 minutes.
pull out.
Oh, okay. Perfect then. I'll just I'll let's see. Are we thinking like 5 minutes?
Yep.
Yep, that's good.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll wait
perfect.
here
I'll
until
be
somebody
back.
comes back, just so that we've got some people here. But you guys can go.
Perfect. I will not be very long.
All
Excellent.
right, I'll be very, very quick as well.
Sure.
Thanks for the break. I didn't want to miss any of the story. I'm excited for this bell riddle.